What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back at you with another video, and today we are going to be going over the most overrated prospects in the 2023 NFL Draft. So if you guys are new, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that stuff down below, show all that YouTube love. And of course, if you guys want to be even more involved, there's lots of links down there for you guys to check out everything, including a brand new spreadsheet showing being able to track every single one of my drafts and being able to see who I've been drafting, where I've been drafting them. So it's a cool tool to be able to just look back on. So I got to shout out because one of the subs did that for us. So without further ado, let's kick right into this because this is going to say top 10. I'm giving you guys 12. So just so you guys understand the layout here, when it says rank, that's usually where they're drafted. And on the right side is where I think they should be. So starting off, number one is Paris Johnson. He is consistently a top 20 player in people's drafts. A lot of people are putting him as their tackle one. And to be blunt, he's just not that good. You know, we've had this hype about Thayer Mumford, Nicholas Petit-Frere, and they fall. They just naturally do. Now, I like Nicholas Petit-Frere. I actually like Thayer Mumford. I think Paris Johnson's just about as good as they are. And I think that that's worth a second round pick. I think he's very similar to Nicholas Petit-Frere. I think that he's not exactly built to be a true left tackle. I think he's better as a guard. He lacks that true power and he has anchor concerns. And that showed up in week 1 versus Notre Dame. So I wanted to wait till after week 1 to kind of solidify my opinions on this. But Paris Johnson definitely is someone who's a little bit overrated right now in the eyes of the public. So next is Felix Anudike-Uzomah. He is kind of like one of those guys who was having extreme hype from PFF early in the year. His stats are phenomenal. He does get a lot of pressures, but he just doesn't really have that NFL pop to him. Doesn't exactly pass the eye test. He just doesn't have the explosiveness that I'd want. And again, this is all subject to change. At the end of the day, simply you just have to have that it factor when it comes to being productive in the NFL. And Felix Anudike-Uzomah just doesn't really have it. Again, I've liked these not so flashy athletic defenders. I mean, last year I had Karlaftis above Kayvon Thibodeaux in terms of my grading for him. So again, it's not saying that Felix can't be good. Again, I have a late third on him. I think he has his role in the NFL as a rotational pass rusher, but his ceiling just is far from a first round pick. Then also Tyree Wilson, you'll see a lot of edges in here are getting a little bit of hate from me. And I mean, again, I feel pretty confident with my edge evals. Tyree Wilson also has been highly evaluated by other people that I know, including Broshmo. I actually have Tyree Wilson higher. He flashes a lot. That's the thing. He does have some flashes, but the overall game just isn't there. I don't think the consistency is there either. And ultimately, I just didn't really think that he was as polished as he needed to be. But that being said, I think he can take a major step. Again, Texas Tech, it's not known for developing super high-end edge rushers. I think Tyree Wilson has a very high ceiling, especially compared to Felix Anudike-Uzomah. Then you got Brandon Joseph here, safety out of Notre Dame, formerly Northwestern. He's been getting a lot of hype. I had him as my number 5 player overall last year, and I fell in love with him. He tried to gain weight to play a different role, and he just absolutely sucked at it. When I watched him again, he had absolutely no field awareness at all, and it really sucked because you saw the mental part of his game drop because he was trying to be someone else. And I don't think that's returning, but I'd still be willing to take a shot on him on day 3. I just don't think he's there. I really don't, but a lot of people do think that. So I hope for the best. Again, I like to be wrong and watch good football rather than right and then have a player not be good. Then Isaiah Foskey. This is a big one. People think that Isaiah Foskey is the shit. Like, they think he is just absolutely phenomenal. I don't really think so. So, for one, he's not extremely effective as a pass rusher. He's not. He doesn't carry his 260 weight the way he should. He doesn't have the impact that he should. He doesn't have the maneuverability / the flexibility / the overall toolkit that he should for the hype that he's getting. He's just not effective compared to what he should be, especially at that top 20 grade. I don't think he's as effective in the run game as a lot of people say. I think that he's just honestly a really good body with a lot of athleticism that hasn't been able to put 2 and 2 together yet. That could happen 100%, but I highly doubt that his effectiveness I think it's just more of this hype from Travon Walker being a physical freak at a larger size that makes people like love Foskey. Last year, I gave him a 4th. I reevaluated him, gave him a 4th again. I just didn't really see it. Then you got Tank Bigsby here. A lot of people, including myself, thought he was the shit. And then when I watched him in depth, he was a shell of the man that I thought I knew. And I think that he still has his potential. I still will give him the respect he deserves and give him an early day 3 grade. But no way in hell do I think that he is on the level of these other insanely talented running backs. Like insanely talented. You have even Chase Brown, who's been able to totally outplay Tank Bigsby. So yeah, it just kind of sucks. It sucks in that aspect. But let's go to the rest of the list. This is gonna be the fun one. This is where I'm gonna get a lot of shit. We got the big names here. So we got Nolan Smith. Bottom line, he doesn't carry his weight the way he should. He doesn't look 10 pounds lighter than Will Anderson. He looks like he's about 30. He basically is, I will get around you or else I'm going to be essentially ineffective. Now, don't get me wrong. He is a phenomenal competitor. I think that his motor might be better than almost anyone in college football. I love that. I 100% would want that on my team. Maybe I give him a 3rd for that grade. But he's ineffective in the run, ineffective in the pass when he gets engaged in a block. At the college level, sometimes it's pretty easy to evade those blocks compared to the NFL because that they just take a big step up. I just don't think Nolan Smith will be effective at his size and at his play style at the next level. Phenomenal athlete, phenomenal character, but ultimately not NFL worthy of being like drafted that highly. Now, if he gets taken in like early round 3, I don't have a problem with it at all. But I have to put it on there. I got to put it out there. Nolan Smith is just not nearly as good as people think. He's not. Really good person, really good athlete, just not built to be a really good NFL player just yet. He could definitely develop into one, but at this moment, he's not there yet. Siaki Ika, this guy's been like pretty much the cheat, like we call it like poor, I want to say poor sportsmanship, but poor journalism when people just say, "Oh, I see the Chargers, I'm putting Siaki Ika." He's a really good player. The thing is, the dude is just so damn slow. I mean, you have to get like if you're gonna make an impact on the quarterback, then you're gonna have to actually get there. And I don't think Siaki Ika has that. Like, he's really slow. And just bottom line, if you can't make an impact, like these athletes are getting better and better, if you aren't fast enough, if you aren't athletic enough, it doesn't matter if you're going to be able to block shed. It's like, okay, after 2.5 seconds, you block shed. It takes an extra second to get to the quarterback. No quarterback's holding it over 3 seconds. That's my take on that. CJ Stroud, again, look at the ranking before you fucking try to tear me a new anus, dude. I swear to God, these people think that I literally think this guy is like leftover garbage. People think he's a top 2, top 1 pick. He's not. He has bad throws. He makes poor reads. He doesn't like elevate his team because he has one of the best receiving cores. He has a consistently solid offensive line. He has unbelievable running backs. And then you only put up 21 against Notre Dame. Yeah, they found out that they can win the gritty way. So good to Ohio State. But on CJ Stroud's level, people think that he is the next best thing since sliced bread. He's not. I don't think he's a top 2 quarterback in college. I don't think he's a top 2 quarterback in this draft. I think he's number 4 in the draft, and that's still damn good. He has a good arm. He has solid enough mobility. He's shown processing. He has a great deep ball. But you guys have to watch out because he's throwing a ball maybe a yard or 2 behind. In the NFL, that's an interception. That's a pass breakup. It looks great in college, but when it really matters, sometimes it's not going to work. And people just don't get that. Granted, could I be wrong? 100%. But somebody who I have a lot more of a distaste for is Will Levis. He looked great in his first drive this year. Absolutely phenomenal. But then he randomly started tapering off, and I was wondering why. And ultimately, I realized you script your first drive or 2. So it's like, okay, he has a big arm. He does have a very strong cannon. But when his plays weren't rehearsed time in, time out, he looked much worse. And to me, that shows a processing issue. Like if you've seen a play and you practice it a billion times, it makes sense why you're able to do that over and over again at a very good level at the next level. But the fact is, you don't practice every play a billion times. You don't have a script for every play that you do in the NFL. And when his play tapered off, when he had to throw based off of a changing condition, something he hasn't done a billion times over, he looked significantly worse. So it sucked because I was about to say, I was like, wow, okay, now I'm starting to understand the hype. He tapered off really quickly there. Jackson Smith and Jigba, he got hurt, but this has nothing to do with it. He's just not an elite athlete, got caught up to by a guy who ran 4.53. And that basically shows that, well, essentially, you're probably going to be in that 4.55 to 4.6 range. That's not going to be able to cut it unless you're fitting a specific scheme. Patriots, I think that would be great. Dolphins, I mean, if you really want to take that Mike Gesicki role, it could work. But there are guys who would be able to maximize this. I think Peterson down in Jacksonville could do it. There's certain roles that you could fit, but overall, as a prospect, not as good because of that athleticism. Again, doesn't mean that he's worthy of a late first in everyone's books, but overall, holistically, as a prospect, he is. Michael Mayer is last. People think this guy is also insane. Just watch the Notre Dame game. This guy can't get separation for shit. I was Michael Mayer's biggest fan for a hot minute there. And the more I watched him, the more I realized that he's a good guy when he has the ball in his hands. He's a good blocker, but past that, you really need to be able to separate. And linebackers give up a lot overall, and he wasn't able to build the separation that I was necessarily hoping for. Does not mean he will fail. I have a second round grade on him. But again, this is overrated, which means it's compared to what y'all think. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys on the far side. Peace.